Welcome back to the News Hub. I'm Kelsey Hubbard. Well, Americans showing increased support for two of President Obama's key policy goals, comprehensive immigration reform and stricter gun control laws. That's according to the new WSJ-NBC poll. So then why is there growing unease with the president's job performance? We're going to go straight to Washington, where Colleen McCain Nelson is joining us with more on this. Good morning, Colleen.
Good morning.
So I want to start with immigration. Nearly 2/3 of those surveyed say they favor giving citizenship to those who came here illegally but have jobs. How big of a shift is this?
Well, we've seen this number increase in recent months, particularly after the election. We've seen Congress show more of a willingness to reform immigration laws, and Congress certainly seems to be reflecting what the public thinks. It's interesting, as you said, nearly 2/3 of people think that people who are here illegally but have a job should have a chance to earn U.S. citizenship. But then when you say if those people who are here illegally and have a job have to pay fines and back taxes and meet some requirements to earn citizenship, the number jumps to 76% say they should have a chance to earn citizenship. And they also think that that opportunity should come on a faster timeline than what the Senate is talking about. The Senate's talking about giving people a chance over 10 years or more to earn citizenship, but most people say it should be 5 years or fewer for people to earn citizenship.
And where does this break down among party lines in terms of those who are sort of favoring this and not favoring this? I know that 80% of Democrats and 54% of independents support this pathway to citizenship, but Republicans, it's a slimmer margin. Is that right?
Right. There's a very distinct difference along party lines. We're seeing huge numbers of Democrats, a majority of independents, but then in the Republican Party, there's still a slim majority that says they don't support a path to citizenship. So that's an interesting division that you see along party lines, and it also portends that it might be tough to get immigration reform and a path to citizenship through the Republican-controlled House.
And let's move now to guns, because that has been a huge policy agenda of President Obama's, especially following the Newtown shooting. And the poll reveals some interesting data on where the public sentiment is on tighter gun control laws. What did it show?
Right. The poll shows that a majority of people want stricter laws covering firearms sales. 55% say they want the laws to be stricter. So a majority of folks want that. But it's interesting because that number has actually dropped in the last couple months. It was 61% in February, the last time we did a poll. So for all the people who have suggested that perhaps momentum has diminished as we've gotten farther away from the Newtown, Connecticut school massacre, the poll certainly seems to reflect that. While there's still a majority of folks who want to see a change, it's not quite as many as 2 months ago.
And we know the Senate is about to be expected debating gun control measures, and they have actually talked about this sense of the farther we move away from one of these tragedies, the less people are sort of motivated and organized to really bring about the change. And that bears out from this poll.
Right. You know, the Senate is about to start work on debating a background check bill, a bill that would expand background checks, but it's certainly not clear that legislation is going to pass out of Congress. Again, the House is a tough sell for any sort of gun control legislation, and if the Republican-controlled House sees that the public is not as motivated to make changes, they probably will be less motivated as well.
All right, and you know, it's interesting given the fact that immigration reform and tighter gun control laws are two sort of keystone of President Obama's policies agenda, yet his approval rating seems to be sort of waning as these two policies are gaining support among Americans. Is that an interesting dichotomy?
It is. Americans seem to agree with the president's agenda. They agree with his priorities in terms of reforming immigration laws, with imposing some gun control, but they are less approving of Obama's job performance. This is the fourth poll in a row that we've seen the president's approval rating decline. He's now under 50% for the first time since October. We've seen four polls in a row where the trend has been downward, and that certainly seems to be in large part because of the economy. There's still a lot of economic uncertainty. There are concerns about the sequester, which the largest share of people say the across-the-board spending cuts that Congress has imposed are going to be harmful to the economy. So just kind of the general economic malaise is contributing to feelings about Obama's job performance. And also, interestingly, he has lower approval ratings on foreign policy, which traditionally has been a strength of his. And at this point, his approval ratings on foreign policy even are below 50%.
All right, it's interesting that the gun control and the immigration are sort of issues that people are focusing more on, but certainly taking a back seat, it seems, to the economy, which, we've talked about so many times, especially over the election and in President Obama's term. That's really something that if he can't get right, will bear out in his legacy, that's for sure. People are certainly paying attention to that.
Absolutely. Our pollsters tell us that he can do a lot of other things, but if people are still concerned about the economy, and that bears out in a number of different questions that we asked, that's going to drag down Obama's favorability ratings and just general feelings about him. And so that's kind of the overarching umbrella through which everything else passes. And so people may agree with his other priorities, but they still want to see the economy get better.
All right, Colleen, thank you so much. We appreciate it.